Hello, welcome to Movie Addicts. I'm your host, Owen, joined by my co-host, Ilya.
Hi.
How's it going, Ilya?
Pretty good. You?
Oh, not bad, not bad. We're here today to talk about the movie that I recommended, Zombieland, which is a 2009 movie about zombies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of my all-time favorite movies, so I was excited to recommend it.
Yeah.
So, I guess, last episode we forgot to put a spoiler warning, so I think we'll talk non-spoilers first.
Yeah.
And then spoiler warning. So, without any spoilers, Ilya, what did you think?
There's a lot of good. There's some goods, but there's also some bads. So it's kind of like, I wrote a letterbox review and I said, oh yeah, there were some goods, but there's also some bads, and I even have my review pulled up right here just to.
Oh
just
yeah,
as a
I'm looking at
reference.
it now. It's so I guess the plot without spoiling it. So there's been a zombie apocalypse, and Jesse Eisenberg, I can't remember his character's name, but he's our main character, and
Columbus.
he's going through Columbus. Yeah, that's what he gets called. He goes through surviving in this world of a zombie apocalypse, but he's got this set of rules he lives by, and he always follows them. And it's just about him. He's trying to get to, I don't remember the state, to find his parents.
Columbus.
Columbus. That's
why.
because his name is Columbus, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he meets some other people, and hilariosity ensues.
Yes.
It's got quite the personality, this movie.
It sure
And
does.
that's what I love so much about it. It's goofy and wacky.
Yeah. Just yeah.
What were your problems with it?
Okay. Here I'm gonna go over the good stuff first because
Alright.
because I want the bad stuff to be last because bad is always last.
Yeah.
So the good parts, I love the cinematography. It's very unique style, especially at the beginning when they were like rolling like the pre-credits or whatever. I forget what it's called or. Like,
Oh yeah, I love that bit.
The slow-mo shots, and that was really
Yeah.
great. I loved that. And even like the intro itself, where it's like it shows like a car that's upside down, but the camera is actually upside down. Then it turns back to normal, and it kind of pans around a little. Then the person gets attacked. That was great. I really like that. Like the entire movie, where cinematography itself is just great. Another thing that I liked was the edits that were in it, the little rules that would pop up every now and then, the text. I thought that was very interesting. I like that.
And
part.
I mean, I thought it was always comedic when like Tallahassee would do something and he'd be like, "Oh darn, I pulled a muscle," and then in the background you'd see like "limber up" pop up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And like the reasoning behind things would like oh yeah, the double tap or whatever when you shoot a zombie twice, the rule would pop up in the background somewhere. That was good. And this another thing that I put in the goods was the soundtrack, and I said, well, the soundtrack was good. I mean, the soundtrack doesn't even really matter unless it's like really stupid or the guy was drunk while making it. Kind of like what's it called? Birdemic, where they just use the same song over, and it's
the same like stock music loop over and over.
Dude, it's still every time I hear it will haunt me. It will haunt me. And yeah, that's all the goods that I have.
Did you like the characters and like their dynamics with each other?
The characters are okay. Oh, I forgot to put in my letterbox review. The acting was okay. I like the acting.
Okay. My favorite part is the characters and just how they act with each other. Like Columbus and Tallahassee, I love how they mesh together. Like any scene with them, I just think's hilarious because you've got this like shy, introverted guy, and then you got this big like
badass
southern
guy that
badass
just wants a Twinkie.
And it's so funny.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just love Jesse Eisenberg as an actor in general. And like he fits perfectly for this kind of role. Like there's even the first scene when he meets Tallahassee and he's got the gun and he's just shaking and he doesn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just love it. I do the two girls, I like them less than the the two guys, but I mean, I still like their characters and how they work with the other two.
Yeah.
Do you want to put out a spoiler warning now?
Yes. Fair spoiler alert. If you want to watch Zombieland, it's actually on Netflix, which I found really surprising. So you can go watch it on Netflix. You can go watch it on any kind of like paying streaming platform like iTunes or Google Play or Cineplex. Why is it on Cineplex? All right, whatever. Yeah. Fair spoiler alert warning. Yeah, let's get into spoilers.
So my absolute favorite scene in the movie is near the end when they go to Bill Murray's house.
Oh boy, Bill Murray.
I loved that part so much. Like, that's one of my favorite scenes from any movie ever. As they get to Bill Murray's house and there's 5 people left in the world and one of them's Bill fucking Murray.
Damn. I don't know. I don't know. I like the whole thing itself. I don't know. For me, I thought the overall story itself was just pretty bland in a way. I don't know. It just kind of seemed to me. I don't know. I don't know if it's just that like I was just not seeing it in some way. Maybe I need to rewatch it or something. But the first time that I watched, I was like, what is this? I don't get it.
So did you think there was not enough story or there was too much story for like a comedy movie?
I don't know. It didn't feel like a comedy movie, to be honest, for me.
Really?
Yeah, I like some jokes, yeah, I did found funny, but then there was other jokes in it that I saw and I was like, oh, okay. and I mean like the overall story, like, oh yeah, the guy wants to go to Columbus, the other guy wants to go to like Tallahassee or something.
Yeah.
Or something, I don't remember. And
there
there's
two girls want to go to the amusement park.
The two girls that traveled like from whatever like New York or something all the way to California just to go to an amusement park in a zombie apocalypse. I mean, okay. I mean, if that's not the dumbest thing ever, then I don't know what is.
Well, no, I think all of their motivations made sense. Like, so Jesse Eisenberg wanted to go to try to find his family, but then he just sort of felt lost when he learned that Columbus was, like, gone. Tallahassee, his son died, so he didn't really have a purpose, so he was just wandering. And then the two girls, the older sister wanted to bring the younger sister to the amusement park because they had good memories there, and they wanted to, like, relive the good times before the zombie apocalypse. Like, I think all of their motivations make sense.
Also, Tallahassee just wanted to have one last Twinkie.
Yeah, he also wanted to find a Twinkie.
I don't know. The whole thing felt like a Twinkie ad because there was like multiple times where they would go in and I was like, oh, here's a product of Twinkie. Oh, here's another product of Twinkie by Wonder, whatever the company is.
I still just thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
It's not a very smart joke. But, like, it's still really funny that you got this big, tough guy, and all he wants is a Twinkie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they'd always find, like, the coconut things, and he'd always lose his stuff, and then you'd have Jesse Eisenberg would be in the back just grabbing them, breaking with them.
And then there was the scenes where just the girls would just ditch the guys.
Yeah,
and then they would look like dumbasses.
That did feel a little repetitive. Like,
yeah.
After, like, the third time they left, I was like, okay. I mean, that's why the movie's not a perfect 5 stars for me.
Yeah.
Because it does feel a little bit repetitive. But, I mean, it's not a long movie.
Mm-hmm.
How long? 88 minutes. So, yeah, it's pretty short.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really drag on at all.
Yeah. I also feel that certain scenes, the horror bits, were really pushed for whatever reason.
Well, I don't think it was trying to be scary.
I don't think... No, it wasn't trying to be scary. It just feels that, like, oh, yeah... This is a comedy. We're also going to work in horror as well. So we want to have scenes where we have to have horror.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think it feels pushed because I mean it is a zombie apocalypse. Like,
yeah, but again, I'm going to mention this. I watched Shaun of the Dead as well, and they used horror in that movie. Actually, I thought a lot better than Zombieland did, where you would have the scenes where like Shaun is walking down the road and he's looking at something. Then the musical score will start building up. And then it would cut to a character walking towards him and it will hug him and it will scare him. And then there would be kind of a little bit of a jump and you're like, oh, it's just another character. Oh, haha. And then there was the scenes where in the movie where they would have the musical scores where a sad song would be playing, or they would beat a zombie playing Queen's "Don't Stop Me Now." That was great. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think this movie really hit me comedy wise, so it kind of just felt like another like zombie movie, I guess.
I do think it is fair to compare this and Shaun of the Dead because they're both going for the exact same tone. Like it's a spoof on a zombie movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while since I've seen Shaun of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was in with the last year I saw it last, but I can't say which I like more. I know I've watched Zombieland more. I think that's my preferred movie of the two. Although I do like Edgar Wright's comedy a lot more than... I don't even know who directed Zombieland. Ruben Fleischer?
It's the same guy who created Venom.
Yeah, he's not a... He doesn't have a very good track record, the director of Zombieland.
Yeah.
Like, he's got Zombieland, Zombieland 2, Venom, Gangster Squad, and 30 minutes or less. Like...
yeah.
Not a lot.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Edgar Wright, like, he's one of my favorite directors. He's got, like, Hot Fuzz, Scott Pilgrim. He's got so many good movies.
Yeah. I don't know, it was weird, because, like, I was looking at reviews, like, there was always the oddball that would give it, like, a 2 out of 5, because there was you, there was, like, 5 other people that I followed, like, rated it, like, 4 stars or 4.5, and then there was, like, I Hate Everything, and this guy I followed named Nate that rated 2 stars and a half, and I was like, yeah, I think I can agree. So I guess, like, I don't know, if you like the comedy in this movie, you'll enjoy the movie a lot more.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's the thing with comedy movies. It always comes down to preference, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's the same thing when we talked about Spaceballs. Like,
mm-hmm.
You really liked it, and I really didn't like it, and it's just because of the style of comedy, right?
Yep, exactly.
And I know in that episode I was talking about American comedy versus British comedy, which I think is very prevalent when you're comparing Shaun of the Dead, which is a British,
mm-hmm.
and Zombieland, which is an American. And I think that shows it does it good at separating the two styles of comedy. Although I wouldn't say Zombieland is an example of a bad American comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
It is an example of an American comedy. Like, when you think American comedy, this is what you think of. Actually, one of my favorite parts of the movie is there's this little montage when they're all driving in the car, and it keeps switching who's in what seat. And I don't know, I just thought it was so funny. Because it brings out my love for the characters, just because they all have great dynamics with each other. So, like, whenever they be switched with a different person in the front seat, especially Tallahassee and the little girl, like when he's teaching her how to drive.
Yeah.
There's that joke about the blind spot, which was really funny.
Mm-hmm. See, I didn't get that joke because I haven't got my license yet, and I don't think I will until 2021.
Yeah, at this point, probably not.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, between the two movies, Shaun of the Dead and Zombieland, I like Shaun of the Dead better. I guess it's more fitting to my style of my liking of comedy.
Yeah.
But like, I would still recommend Zombieland because I don't know. It was I didn't like the comedy, which is, and a little bit of the story, which is kind of why I didn't like the movie in general. Because you can only go so far without liking one thing in a movie that it won't bug you. And like I said in my review, it's people are gonna think I'm a little crazy for saying this, but it's like when you take if you have a bad story in the movie but everything else is great, it's kind of like an old saying. Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
if you get the joke, then yeah. The joke is basically, other than your husband getting shot at the play, how was the play?
Yeah.
So, in a way, like, I don't know, like the story really the comedy really kind of took it away from me, and also a little bit of the story. But like everything else was really good, I thought. So, if you do like the style of comedy, I would 100% give you a thumbs up to watch it. If you don't really necessarily like American comedy, then I'd probably steer clear of this.
Yeah. And I mean, also, if you like horror, too, you'll like this.
Yeah.
If you are very squeamish and blood frightens you, do not watch this movie.
Yeah.
Actually, what's your opinion on horror movies? Because we haven't really talked about any horror movies at all. I mean, we are going to very soon.
Yeah. I like a good psychological thriller. I don't necessarily like horror because all the horror movies I've seen have been like it seems to me like all good horror movies are actually just psychological thrillers. Like we constantly slap on the name of horror. But actually, the ones I really like are the psychological thrillers. Not necessarily like every minute there has to be a jump scare kind of horror, but the ones where it kind of like the topic is disturbing itself, kind of like trying to think of one.
Like Get Out? Do you like Get Out, right?
Yeah, I like to Get Out. Or what's it called? Killing of a Sacred Deer. See, those ones are that's the kind of horror I like. But necessarily like horror, like, oh, look at that, there was a sudden movement. Oh, that's scary. Oh, look at that, a door closed and we're gonna play a loud sound. Ah, I got scared. Okay, I like to think I'm gonna mention this in the when we talk about the Conjuring universe or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, Conjuring, yeah. I'm gonna mention this, and I take horror movies and all movie genres in general like drugs. Okay.
And I can't wait to hear this.
And okay, you can either find a good drug that you can get high off of for like a good time. Like you can buy like the really good cocaine and it will give you a high for like 8 hours and you feel good. Or you can, but it's very expensive and it's hard to find. Or you can go for the low cost cheap cocaine that will give you a high for maybe an hour. But you'll still get the high, and it's the same with like horror movies. You can either watch like a stereotypical like Annabelle, and get like, oh yeah, look, it's cool jump scare. Oh, look at that. Oh, and like that would be like a cheap drug. Or you can go find something like Hereditary, which is a much better drug.
Yeah, that's fair to say, I think.
And you can do the same with anyone, or comedy. You can go watch a cheap Adam Sandler movie and get a short high, or you can watch a good comedy like Shaun of the Dead, or for you, Owen, Zombieland.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair to say, I think.
There's obviously like a little bit of like stereotypes involved in movies and stuff, and it all depends on personal preference. Like if you want to get like a cheap movie or something, then yeah, you can 100% do that, but I don't know. For me, it's all about personal preference.
Yeah, I feel like comedies, especially, liking them or disliking them, really comes down to just your taste in comedy.
Like, yeah, 100%.
And I mean, there's just so many different kinds. Like, I mean, I'll never understand the people that like them, but there are still people that like those stupid American comedies where it's just
look at Adam Sandler. He's sitting in a toilet.
Yep, and people falling and hurting themselves, and they think it's really funny, and I don't understand it.
I mean, sometimes if it's done right, like slapstick comedy sometimes can be funny. Yeah, but if it's just like kind of like Jackass, where you see the guys doing like stupid jumps and like, oh, look at that, he's gonna wipe out. Oh, look at that, he's gonna be launched in a crane and dropped a couple meters inside a cubicle with shit and all in it. Oh, that is so funny, ha ha ha. I mean, like, yeah, I don't understand that type of comedy. But if it's like, a smart one like Home Alone, where you can kind of laugh at where a character, oh yeah, look at me, oh no, I stepped on toy car, wah, and it's over exaggerated to the top. I sometimes find those funny, but again, it's all about personal preference.
Oh, you ready for a bold statement here? I don't like Home Alone.
Oh.
No matter how topic that is.
I don't know about. I've seen Home Alone at least over 20 times. I still like it. I don't like any of the sequels to it because they're all not good. But I do like Home Alone.
I've seen it many, many times ever since I was a kid, and I've never really been fond of it at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like me where I watch Christmas movies. There's 3 Christmas movies I will always watch on Christmas: Home Alone, Elf, and Christmas Vacation. I've seen all of them at least like 30 times. Like in total, probably over 100 times. They're all just such classics to me.
My go-to Christmas movie is Christmas Vacation. I love that movie.
Yeah, that movie is great.
And I mean, again, that movie has good examples of slapstick humor.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Zombieland has a great one, and it's, again, one of my favorite parts, is when Bill Murray is like, I'm going to go scare him in the theater, and then Jesse Eisenberg shoots him.
Yeah. Nice, you just shot Bill Murray.
That entire scene is just my favorite. All of Bill Murray's house. Like, it's just so funny. No, I love all the lines from that bit, and just when they're all high and they're, like, playing Ghostbusters by the chandelier.
Yeah. I mean, like, I thought for a minute when they were going to, like, a house, I didn't think they were going to go to Bill Murray's house. I thought they were going to go to, what's it called? The Playboy house.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he's hyping it up like, oh, yeah, no, we're going all the way to the top tier of actors' houses.
And he did mention the Playboy house before in the movie, so I thought, oh, I can see a connection here. Nope, it's Bill Murray's house.
And then there's the girl. I don't know who Bill Murray is. You don't know who Bill Murray is. That's like saying you don't know who Gandhi is. Well, who's Gandhi? I don't know if I want to watch the second one, because it came out last year.
I don't think I can watch the second one.
Because it came out last year, and I was like, oh, cool, there's a second Zombieland coming out. But, like, it's one of those movies, like, it doesn't need a sequel, and it's been 10 years since the first movie, so...
It's like, what's it called? It's like Airplane. Airplane did not need a sequel. And the reviews can tell. Like, when I'm looking at the Zombieland reviews, it's at a 3.6 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd. On the second one, it has a 3.1, which is lower, and people are saying, "Oh, look at this review by IHE. As a gamer, I liked it." Smiley face.
I feel like it's just one of those sequels. Like, the studio was like, "Oh, we've got this previously successful movie, let's just make a stupid sequel because it'll make money." But, like, why make a sequel? Just make an original movie. Like, zombie movies aren't really that big anymore. Like, I don't know, this came out at a time, I think, when zombie movies were bigger. But now, like, what was the last zombie movie that even came out? Like, World War Z?
I mean,
I don't even know.
Also, like, I just read a review that says, Zoe Dutch carried the whole movie on her shoulders, and then the bad part was it was bad, unfunny, sloppy sequel that nobody needed and kind of destroyed the brilliance of the first installment. And these are just reviews. Like, a lot of the reviews are 2 stars or 3 stars. And everybody's saying that Zoe saved the movie.
Yeah? Huh.
Yeah, so... That would be interesting. I also like how the fact that the 2 teenage girls on the what's it called, the poster, just look older. However, everybody else looks however, the 2 guys just look the exact same.
Yeah, I feel like Jesse Eisenberg will never look different. He's looked the same in everything he's ever been in, except for Batman vs. Superman, which was a masterpiece. Well, do you have anything else to say about Zombieland or Shaun of the Dead or any zombie movies?
No.
What would you give Zombieland out of 5?
I mean, first initial reactions, 2.5 out of 5 stars. That's, I guess still to be my rating. I don't know. I don't want to rate it to a 2.5 because it just seems too harsh. But I also don't want to rate it 3 stars, so it's kind of in the middle, sense. If you know what I mean.
Yep. It's closer to like a 3 than a 2?
Yeah, it's closer to a 3 than a 2.
Yeah. After, like, I had this movie before I rewatched it, rated as a 3.5, but after rewatching it, I was like, wow, I really love this movie, so it's at 4.5 now. And not because it's a flawless movie, but because I really just love it so much. Yeah. We talked about Shaun of the Dead a bit. What would you give Shaun of the Dead out of 5?
For me, 5 out of 5. Initial reaction, talking about it, still a solid 5 out of 5. I don't know. I like the comedy in it. I thought that was a lot funnier than. I know what yours is, so it's okay.
Yeah, 4.5 out of 5 on Shaun of the Dead for me. I haven't rewatched it in a long time, so. Yeah. Well, thanks for watching. If you would like and subscribe, that would just be brilliant. We would appreciate that very much. Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.